Hey guys, Frost here. Welcome back to a new installment of Naxxramas Best in Slot, a journey to the end of World of Warcraft. In our previous episodes, we covered the Mage and the Hunter. Today we're going to take a look at the Rogue, one of the most privileged classes in World of Warcraft Classic. The purpose of those series is to set up a strategy, a plan to gear up your character. As we all know, Naxxramas is not a walk in the park. The competition for gear is quite high. The time is limited until TBC, so with all this being said, I wish you luck in obtaining your gear. So without further ado, let's get into the Rogue. Rogue, not only that Rogue has been one of the best classes in terms of PvE and PvP since the beginning of Phase 1, it carried on with that until Phase 6. The scaling of the Rogue, it's just insane, and now they just got like a hit in the face with the new set Bone Sight. Let's get into it. Now for Rogues, 8 out of 9 Bone Sight is going to be the best in slot. It's going to be hard to set part with the tier 2.5 set, which is really great as well. 15% damage to eviscerate. That's just the way that it is. You have to go to better options. Now the helmet here, as you can see the set bonuses. The first set bonus, the 2 set bonus, it's like a healing with a chance to invigorate you. A normal melee swing will heal you for about 100 HP, which is quite great. But the second one, it's so OP. It says that your backstab, sinister strike, and hammerhage critical hits will cause you to regain 5 energy. Now this is so huge because when you're world buffed, when you crit almost all the time with those abilities, it's so huge that I think it's one of the most OP set bonus classes for all classes, Naxxramas. So make sure you get your hands on 4 set pieces ASAP. Then you have the reduced threat on 6 piece bonus, and on 8 piece bonus you have a chance to, your eviscerate has a chance per combo point to reveal a flaw in your opponent armor, granting a 100% critical hit chance for your next backstab, sinister strike, or hammerhage. It's just beautiful. Like every rogue will dream about 8 out of 8 Bone Sight. It's so great. Now there are options until you get 8 out of 8 where you can use probably 4 set piece bonuses of Bone Sight, and then you can also use 4 of Dark Mantle. Try to see how that works. However, probably you'll just have to go eventually for 8 out of 8. Moving on, the Prestor seems to be still best in slot all the way until the end of Naxxramas. I wouldn't go for something else. Rogues benefit a lot from heat, so as much heat as you can get without sacrificing other stats is pretty good. The Bone Sight shoulders, make sure you get your Sapphiron enchant. Cloak of the Necropolis, this is a mistake here. Let's fix it quickly. It should be the Shroud of the Minion. It's not like a priority. If you already have like the Cloak of the Fallen God or a Cloak of Concentrated Hatred, you can just keep it. However, this is going to be the best in slot. Bone Sight armor. And just looking at the stats on those items, it drives me nuts, to be honest. Look at this chest. 2% critical strike, 80% attack power, 1% chance to hit. It's just pure nutness. Bone Sight bracers, 1 crit, 26 agility, pretty good. The gauntlets, 66 attack power, 1 crit, 1 hit. Moving on, Belt of Never-Ending Agony seems to be way better than the Bone Sight, so this will be the only off-piece that you'll have to get yourself on. It's from Katoon. Good luck on obtaining that. Then you get the pants, which has insane stats as well, and the boots. Oh my god, this makes me like want to roll to Rogue right now. I have a Rogue which is already level 60. I think I want to change my main. That's how I feel right now, looking at all of this. However, don't get your hopes too high. Competition for the off pieces, it's going to be nutty, so let's move on. One of the rings which is pretty cool It's the Band of Unnatural Forces, which is like a Don Julio's band, but with extra 40 AP. You gotta get your hands on this one. Hit, crit, AP, lots of damage. Bone Sight Ring, 20 Strength, 20 Agility, 1% hit. Those will be your 2 best in slot rings until the end of content. Moving on to Trinkets, Slayer Crest, it's a great trinket to have, assuming that you have a Drakefang Talisman. However, there's a trinket called Kiss of Spider, which is probably the best trinket in game right now for warriors and for rogues. And you can pair this one with whatever you want. If you have a Drakefang Talisman, that's great. I think there's still... Now, probably the best 2 trinkets are the Slayer Crest and Kiss of Spider, as you can use them both in one fight. And if the fight is longer than 2 minutes, you should be able to use the Kiss of Spider twice. So if the fight is 2 minutes and 15 seconds or 2 minutes and a half, it's just too nutty. Basically, you open at the beginning with all your cooldowns, because the haste will enormously increase your damage, especially when you're world buff. This is so huge. You open with this one, then you use the Slayer Crest as soon as this it's over after 15 seconds. Then after 2 minutes you should be able to use the Kiss of Spider again as the cooldown refreshes. It's pretty nutty. There are options where you can use the Kiss of Spider with Mark of Champion, Undead, 150 attack power, versus bosses that are undead. But even so, the Slayer's Mark, like 64 passive attack power plus the initial burst, which the burst, if you use it with cooldowns at 264 extra AP, can be pretty nutty as well. There are still uses for the Drakefang Talisman if you don't feel like using 2 trinkets, if you already have it. But basically, this would be the setup. If you have those 2 trinkets, which are really hard to obtain, if you already got like Jomgabar from AK-40, if you already have like Drakefang Talisman, and you might not have priority on those trinkets on Nax, depends how you guys distribute your loot, either DKP, either Loot Council, I don't know. This is what you want to get in the end. It's not going to be easy to obtain. Everyone wants this. Hunters want the Slayer's Crest. Warriors want the Saint Trinket, so good luck with obtaining at least one. I would opt for the Kiss of the Spider first, and then you can, if you have a Jomgabar on the second, or if you get the Mark of Champion from Khatun, from Kel'Thuzad, then you can mix and match if you have the Drakefang. But this is what you want in the end. In terms of ranged weapon, we have the Nerubian Slave Maker. However, this should be always and first a priority for hunters. If you don't have this, you can still use a Striker's Mark. It's still a pretty good bow, but eventually this will be a DPS increase overall. I would recommend getting this after the hunters. In terms of weapons, the main hand will be Gressil, Dawn of Ruin, 73 damage per second on a 270 speed, 40 attack power. It's the best in slot weapon for every melee in the game. Warrior, rogue, depending on how many you guys have in the guild, depending on who gets priority. This is like literally your biggest upgrade as a rogue. Forget about the trinket, forget about everything else. This is like your #1 priority. If you have DKP, you might want to save to get this one first. If you... It's just that good. As an offhand, I chose the Iblis Blade of the Fallen Serap, as this character would be a human by default. If your character it's not human by default, you should focus on getting the Hungering Cold, I think it's called. There we go, that's a 6 sword increase and huge damage, 73 damage per second, on par with Gressil, Dawn of Ruin. This is the best offhand. However, you shouldn't focus on it if you already have like a Malada, has an offhand that already has +4 swords. You're a human. Normally I made this list for a combat spec, and in combat you get 5 extra skills with swords and daggers and so on. Go back to gear. If you're not a human rogue, this should be the dream option for you. Now, if you're a human, go back to Iblis, Blade of the Fallen Seraph, and enjoy the extra hit, crit, and 26 attack power passive stats that you get from wearing Iblis. Looking at this right now, I'm kind of starting to think that maybe rogues and warriors deserve in the next expansion what they're getting. Like, you know, as you might know, TBC, it's the ranged expansion, but based on the privilege they had in vanilla, to me right now it feels like yeah, maybe they deserve not to be that strong anymore. But this is a dream. If you get this gear exactly how it looks right now, it's awesome. Now you have to focus on what's a priority for you here. In terms of, let's maybe not all of you want to play swords, and some of you will play daggers. So in the main hand, the best dagger comes from Kingsfall, which again, most people want, even hunters want this, they're best in slot for them. A huge Kingsfall. And an offhand, there's a dagger from Katoon called the Death Sting. And if you play combat daggers, you have 3% dagger skills from here, 5 from, you're gonna have 308, which is gonna be really, really great. Kingsfall and Death Thing. Pretty nice. We don't have a spec right now for daggers. There's an option here at daggers. This is the main hand that you want. Like, obviously, it's just too OP. In terms of offhand, if you don't already have the Death Sting, there are a couple of options here. Which first one, it's a trash item, which is easy to acquire. Harbinger of Doom. It's pretty good, pretty good. However, I think the Naxxramasw Fang might be slightly better than the Harbinger of Doom. 65 damage per second, 65 damage per second. It feels like Naxxramasw might be better, but it doesn't matter which one. If you get one of them, maybe getting the Harbinger of Doom might not make you spend a lot of DKP, as it's a trash item. You can farm it outside of raid. It's a great offhand for dagger rogues, and then maybe save your DKPs or your loot council item for Death Sting. So if you don't have the Death Sting, you can focus on Harbinger of Doom, which is a trash item, and getting King's Fall is a priority, as well as we talked about the Gressil, the main hand and swords. And Rogue looks like something of a fantasy story. Now if I think about it, if I look at this, I think I want to play my Rogue. Leave the mage behind and go get the Rogue. Boost him a bit in AQ40, get a tier 2.5 set. I'm still looking at those set bonuses, and it's just crazy. I don't know what to say. 3 out of 4. Well, 4 out of 4. All of them are good. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm a bit jealous now that I look at this. So, all the rogues, all you lucky rogues in the chat, good luck in acquiring your gear. Until next time, stay frosty.